let me show you how to make tomato confit. This is a super concentrated, ultra sweet and delicious tomato situation. Confit basically cooked in oil. So we are going to actually remove the skin and seeds from our tomatoes so we get the ultimate sweet, perfect tomato essence with none of the bitterness that skin and seeds can provide. Then it roasts in the oven for 3 hours, and what you are left with is tomato glory. Any time of year, which is kind of lovely. Then I will show you how to really zhuzh up a glorious tomato pie, a pomodoro pie. I'm actually riffing on a recipe from Gjelina in Los Angeles, which is probably my all-time favorite pizza to eat in America. And since I don't live in LA, I had to figure out, could I create something even remotely approximating it in my kitchen? And I think I can, and you can too, and I will show you how to do it. I've been kind of obsessed with making homemade pizza since we got a pizza oven. But I will say, if you don't have a pizza oven, you are still in luck. I'm actually gonna show you pizza oven, but also how to do it with a pizza stone in your regular oven. Let's get cooking. The first thing you wanna do when you're making tomato confit is remove the skin of your tomato. And the easiest way to do that is to take your small knife and just cut a pretty shallow X here at the base of your tomato. And what this is gonna allow is for the skin to easily separate after it goes for a little dip in a hot tub of boiling water. One thing I will say is that when you are making tomato confit, you might as well make a bunch of it because it does take a while to cook, but once you have it ready and made, it's sort of like and I hesitate to say this, but you know the way sun-dried tomatoes really concentrates that tomato essence? This does that without any of the chewy, like, weird situation that can happen with sun-dried tomatoes. It is just pure, luxurious, rich, intense tomato flavor. And you will find so many ways to use it. You will put it on toast with ricotta. You will put it on pizza like we're gonna do today. You might even fold it into eggs and make something beautiful there. So make it and then keep it in your fridge and have it ready to go. Tomatoes are sliced. Let's go to the hot water. Before you do anything, get your ice water bath ready to go because these are going to pop into the hot tub for like not even 30 seconds, and then immediately have to be plunged into an ice bath to stop the cooking process. We are not cooking the tomatoes at this point. We are simply removing the skin and the seeds. That's it. Pot of boiling water ready to go. Slotted spoon ready to remove them. Pop them into hot water. Fast, like quickly, hot boiling water. 30 seconds. You'll know they're ready to come out of the hot water when the skin literally starts to peel itself back, puckering like this and peeling itself back like that. Now hurry and get them into the ice water. Working fast. Stop that cooking. All right. Okay, so the next step in our process is going to be to easily slide the skin away from the tomato flesh, which you can see it does so simply now. I'm gonna work my way through all the tomatoes and then I will show you how to remove the inside seeds and of course the stem area too. We don't want anything getting in the way of our fabulous tomato confit. Can I just tell you, this is exceptionally gratifying. Okay, now that the skin is removed, take your paring knife or steak knife like I'm using and just slice your tomatoes in half. And this is gonna help us easily access the seeds. It's also the easiest way just to make a little V slice with your knife and pop out any last remaining stem. So let's just work our way through the tomatoes and make sure that gets done. And then I will show you how to remove the seeds. We've now peeled them. I've removed the stems. Now we just want to take the seeds away, remove those along with any core that's left. And that is done simply with your fingers, sort of gripping the seeds and removing that core along with any pesky little seeds hanging out in there. And that's it. So here's our peeled tomato. And you just want to remove the core and the seeds. This is a messy operation, friends. Wear your dark colored clothing. And then once you are at the point where all the seeds are removed, the core is removed, and all you're left with is this lovely silken tomato flesh, let's build out the rest of this super flavorful elixir. A head of garlic, absolutely critical. All these lovely heads, just remove the skin, and you don't need to chop them or anything because these are gonna roast for such a long time. We don't wanna risk the garlic burning, but I am just going to smash each clove so that it infuses the surrounding garlic and tomatoes with that wonderful hit of allium. And then once you've smashed them, just easily pop them out of their skin. and into your tomatoes. Just work your way right along. As you might imagine, the oil that these tomatoes and garlic are going to bathe in will be so flavorful and delicious. You might even just want to be scooping that tomato oil right over salads, a savory yogurt dip, all kinds of good things. Okay, garlic is in, tomatoes are in. Let's add some fresh herbs, thyme and basil, obviously classics. I'm gonna add a little dash of oregano too, just to really amp up this pizza flavoring. For the thyme, you can just go ahead and add some sprigs in, or save yourself having to then remove the stems later and just remove the thyme leaves from their stem. Little delicate stems don't matter, but these sort of thicker, woodier pieces you want to get rid of. You don't need to go too crazy on the thyme. You don't want like an overwhelming herb presence. Remember, this is all about making tomatoes the star. Go ahead and also pull a few lovely leaves of fresh basil. Perfection. I'd say maybe like 2 sprigs worth. A little pinch of dried oregano, not a lot, maybe like a half teaspoon, not even, of a little dried oregano on top. And if you like it spicy, go ahead and add a pinch of chili flakes. And we need a nice, generous teaspoon of kosher salt. And then we're gonna need about 1.5 cups of olive oil of your choosing, just to really lacquer it up. Beautiful. Get your hands in there, give it a good toss, just so that all pieces have garlic, salt, oregano, chili flake, basil, thyme. Gorgeous. Into a 300-degree oven we go for 3 hours. But trust me, it is worth the wait. So as the confit is going in the oven are 3 hours, every hour or so you want to take it out. Oh, guys, the smell of this is so lovely. Look at that. And just give it a little stir, just move things around so everybody's talking to each other. It's like a fun little cocktail party in here. And then once you've rearranged it back into an even single layer, rotate your pan around. And that's really just to make sure that heat is being evenly distributed. Everybody is getting plenty of even cooking. 2 more hours. All right, after 3 hours and cooling, this is what your tomato confit is gonna look like. Ultra, just jammy, sweet, perfect tomato flavor. All those lovely caramelized cloves of garlic here too. That is the basil that shriveled up, but is flavoring the essence of these tomatoes and garlic so beautifully. And now we can finally make our pomodoro pie. Something that seems so simple. Just, it's a tomato pie, you say. No, we have homemade tomato sauce. We have tomato confit. We have tomato like 700 different ways. And now prepare to behold the perfect tomato pie pomodoro pizza. I'm actually riffing on a recipe from Gjelina in Los Angeles, which is probably my all-time favorite pizza to eat in America. And since I don't live in LA, I had to figure out, could I create something even remotely approximating it in my kitchen? And I think I can, and you can too, and I will show you how to do it. I've been kind of obsessed with making homemade pizza since we got a pizza oven. But I will say, if you don't have a pizza oven, you are still in luck. I'm actually gonna show you pizza oven, but also how to do it with a pizza stone in your regular oven, so you can make this no matter what. You know what to do. We're gonna stretch our dough out, pizza makers that we are. So just sort of start by taking your round and just working it into a thin disc, using your fingers to start to sort of shape that outer crust, which will make it that much easier. Dough has some memory to it, so forming the crust with your fingers actually does help you then to stretch it into a lovely pie with your closed fists. And the real trick here is to not hold the dough in any one place too long. You kind of want to just let gravity do its thing, stretching evenly, dragging the dough down, helping you expand it. Wonderful chew awaits us once this dough is formed. Now, if you feel like getting fancy, go ahead, toss this up, do your thing, do your little spinny pizza move. Do not forget to flour your pizza peel. A nice, generous sprinkle of semolina flour just to make sure your pizza will slip right off onto the pizza stone in the oven. And I'm going to do a fun little side-by-side for you of doing it in the oven, which is a great move if you're not working with a pizza oven. But I'm also going to show you how fast it fires up in that crazy machine, which is one of my all-time favorite appliances I've ever owned. Okay, to make your pomodoro pie, grab a few ladles full of this beautiful, fresh, homemade tomato sauce. And this is a place to be sparing, yes. No, not sparing, just not overwhelming the pizza. But this pizza is all about the tomatoes, so don't be too sparing. We need to taste it. And I kind of love that when it cooks up in the oven, the tomatoes get cooked another time and get even jammier and more delicious. Okay, so rubbed it down with our homemade tomato sauce. Now, gathering a few of these gorgeous, super saturated, ultra jammy, ultra delicious tomato confit. So delicious looking. Oh my goodness. And if you feel they're a little bit large, you can tear them up a little bit and just use them to scatter around. Definitely drizzle a little bit of that oil all around. That is pure flavor gold. And even though there is already plenty of salt coming from the sauce and from the confit, tomatoes need a little salt. It brings out their natural sweetness. So a little fleck of salt over top into our oven. Did you see how lovely she is? Here we go. See you in a few. See you right now. We're going to do our experiment right onto the next pizza, into our pizza oven. Let's crank it. This is how easy it is to turn it on. We're going to turn it on to New York style pizza. We want it a little bit darker because I like those little bit of burnt edges. You guys have seen me make a million pizzas in that thing. My husband too. We are fully obsessed with that pizza maker. It is the Breville Pizzaiolo Pizza Maker. Highly recommend. And you know me, I am not normally a major appliance person. But look at how fast it's gonna create this like gorgeous wood-fired pizza look on the same dough, same everything else. Oh, I can retire. I can retire on that one pizza spin I have ever gotten in my life. I can't tell you, I have had them on the ceiling. I have had them in my hair. I do not like cracked eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I have had them in my hair. I have had them in the air. I have had them on my face. I have had them with disgrace. Little salt on top. This should be hot by now. It needs like 1 more minute. Love an experiment. One thing I will say, this dough, you'll see how it comes together, is really light and crisp. There's gonna be a nice chew on the crust. This is a 3-hour aged dough. If you did that 24-hour aging, you will see there will be even more like puffy pockets. It's really pretty majestic what happens when you give the dough the time to rest. So if you have it, use it. We discovered this pizza maker on set at MasterChef Junior, and it literally single-handedly turned my husband into a confident cook. John was never like, he would happily be my sous chef, but he was never gonna like do his thing in the kitchen. This machine, it's beyond. I cannot describe to you how happy it has made me, because it means I make the dough and then he does all the rest, and I get to like have my glass of wine, relax, hang out with the kids, and he makes glorious pizzas all the time. And I will show you how easy it is to do. This is an identical pizza to the one I put in the oven. This little machine, watch what happens. Into your machine. 2 minutes. 2 minutes on New York setting. Just gonna get it nice and golden brown. And we will be able to see what can be done. Okay, and the one done in the oven, also ready to go. Look at her. Look at this glory. Golden brown, bubbling pomodoro, little bit of crisping on our tomato confit. 1 minute later, we are already in business. I like to give it a little swizzle just to make sure that it's not sticking and all of the pizza is heating accordingly. Guys, I'm pretending I'm in LA. I'm pretending I've just waited in line at Gjelina. I'm pretending I'm eating their Pomodoro pizza. Wow. Wow. So many layers of tomato flavor. Look at this crust, by the way. Look at that beautiful pockets of air, a little bit of chew. If we'd been able to ferment this overnight, you would see even more of that. But I'm sorry, this is homemade. Day of. Hit it with a little freshly torn basil right over top. Beyond. The tomatoes are so juicy and flavorful. They've sweetened, they're acidic. They've got so much flavor, that little bit of saltiness coming through, a little heat from the chili flake. Fresh with the basil. This is simple, but elegant. Okay, let's check on the one in here. Oh yeah, look at the puffing that's happening in there. Moment of truth. Oh yeah. Woohoo! Check out the golden brown crisp, wood-fired essence. I love this machine. Love. All right, pizza party. Okay. Oh yes, look at this. Look at this. I got a cackle monster in my house now. Well, the good news is pizza gives you lots to laugh about.